לפניך מלך חי וקיים שהחזרת בי נשמתי בחמלה רבה אמונתך מודעני לפניך מלך חי וקיים מודעני לפניך מלך חי וקיים מלך חי וקיים מלך חי וקיים.
Good Shabbos and welcome to Temple Shir Shalom Shabbat morning service. Good to have you with us this beautiful morning as we join together. Always nice to know who's a part of our community. As we do, if you were here in person, we have you turn to the people next to you and introduce yourself. And so we do the same thing online. Whether you're watching on YouTube or on Facebook, take a moment in the chat to post something. Wish other people a Shabbat Shalom so that we know that you're here, part of our community this morning. This morning's service, we're going to be using our Shabbat morning prayer book. And so for those of you that would like to follow along, you can find the service and download it either on shirshalom.org under our resources page, or if you're watching on YouTube, right below there is a link for it as well so that you can follow along. For those that are wearing a talit this morning, I invite you to join with me in reciting the blessing for donning the talis. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu v'hitatef batzitzit. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who hallows us with commandments and commands us to wear the garments of our responsibility. We begin our service in our prayer book on page 61 with Ashrei. Ashrei yoshvei veitecha, od yahalalucha selah. Ashrei ha'am shekacha lo, Ashrei ha'am she'Adonai Elohav. Happy are those who dwell in your house, they shall sing your praises forever. Happy the people who have it so. Happy the people whose God is Adonai. We continue our service as we rise together on page 65 for our call to worship.
Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vayed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam יוצר אור ובורא חושך עושה שלום ובורא את הכל ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם יוצר אור ובורא חושך עושה שלום ובורא את הכל. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך. והיו הדברים האלה אלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, ושבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
You shall love the eternal your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Set these words which I command you this day upon your heart. Teach them faithfully to your children. Speak of them in your home and on your way, when you lie down and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand, and they shall be a symbol before your eyes. Write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Be mindful of all my mitzvot and do them. So shall you consecrate yourselves to your God. I, the Eternal, am your God, who led you out of Egypt to be your God. I, the Eternal, am your God. These enduring words have been a lamp unto our feet and a light unto our path. Faith and choice bring understanding to the soul and sensitivity to the heart. In all times and places, our God has been a part of our lives. Our faith has been our rock and our help. We watched God's wonders when we went free from Egypt. When slavery's chains were broken, we witnessed it. May those who have the faith to believe also have the wisdom to be kind. O God, in whom we have all hope, we glorify your name now as our people have praised you throughout history.
מי כמוך ואלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. צור ישראל, קומה בעזרת ישראל, ובדי חינומך יהודה וישראל, גואלנו אדוני צבאות שמו, קדוש ישראל. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
In preparation for the Amidah, we take a moment for our own private meditations, either following the words of our prayer book on page 70, or those our hearts might prompt. Please pray silently.
יהיו לרצון אמרי פי, והגיון לי לפניך. צורי וגואלי. אדוני שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. Eternal God, open up my lips, let my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, ve'Elohei Rachel. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לפני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל. מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ברופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל.
We sanctify your name on earth, even as your holiness is proclaimed in the heavens above and throughout time and space. In the words of the prophet Isaiah, we say, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The fullness of the whole earth is God's glory.
Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevaot, Melech ol haaretz, Kevodo, Baruch Kavod Adonai, Mimakomo, Yimloch Adonai leolam, Elohayich Zion, Dor Vador, Hallelujah.
To all generations we will make known your greatness, and to all eternity proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips. Blessed is Adonai, the holy God. Please be seated. Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, our God and God of our ancestors, accept our rest as a sacrifice of time and space. Let us share in your world by celebrating creation day by day. Purify our hearts so that we may be honest and upright, forgiving and compassionate. Blessed are you, O God of truth, who helps us to make the Sabbath a part of our life and our heritage of joy. Look with favor, O God, upon your people Israel, and receive our prayers with love. May it be your will to accept our worship and our deeds. Blessed are you, who alone we serve in reverence. Eternal source of good, we thank you for the numberless gifts and blessings that fill our days, for life itself and its endless variety, for all that sustains body and mind, for love and friendship, for the delights of the senses, and for the excellence of your Torah, which deepens our life and enriches our days. Help us, O God, to work for a just and compassionate society where all may share your gifts in the joy of freedom. For all of this, your name shall be blessed and praised forever.
ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת, וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת, וקוראי עונג שבת. מקדשי שביעי שבת, כולם יספרו וייתן גם טובך שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת, וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת, וקוראי עונג שבת. זכר למעשה וראשית שבת, זכר למעשה וראשית שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת, וקוראי עונג שבת. ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת, וקוראי עונג שבת.
Those who keep the Sabbath and call it a delight shall rejoice in your majesty. All who hallow the seventh day shall find happiness in your goodness. This day is Israel's festival of the Spirit, sanctified and blessed by you, the most precious of days, a symbol of the joy of creation.
Sing, 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 shalom, sing, 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 shalom, sing, sing, shalom, tova uveracha. Ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la la la. Sing, 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 shalom, sing, 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 shalom, sing, 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 shalom, tova uveracha.
And together on page 77, we read our prayers for peace. May this hour of refreshment grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country that it may always be a stronghold of peace and its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within its borders, health and happiness within its homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship among the inhabitants of all lands, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Blessed is the eternal God, the source of peace. We continue on page 79 to the service for the reading of Torah. It shall come to pass in the fullness of time that the mountain of the Eternal's house shall be established as the highest mountain and raised above the hills. And all nations shall flow to it, and many peoples shall come and say, Come, let us go up to the mountain of the Eternal, to the house of the God of Jacob. Then we may be taught the ways of our God and walk in the path of the Almighty.
In kamocha Elohim Adonai, ve'en kama מעשיך, מלכותך, מלכות כל עולמים, וממשלתך בכל דור ודור. אדוני מלך, אדוני מלך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום.
As we open the Torah this morning, we open to the book of Numbers, to chapter 6, to verses that are the Torah portion known as Naso. And the verses that we find within it are verses that many of us are familiar with, verses that are known today as the priestly benediction, because they're the words that often we recite on Shabbat as we ask God to bless our children at a Friday night dinner table, words that we use as we ask God to bless our bar and bat mitzvah students here at Temple, words that we use and that we can share as a way of just sharing blessings and bringing God into our lives as well. And so Cantor will be chanting those verses, which begin in chapter 6, somewhere around verse 22 is where she's going to be starting. But I invite you to join with me in the blessing before the reading of Torah. Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach, Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen. וידבר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל אהרון ואל בניו לאמור, כה תברכו את בני ישראל, אמור להם, יברכך אדוני וישמרך, יאר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונך, יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישם לך שלום, ושמו את שמי על בני ישראל, ואני אברכם.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
As we have Torah out and sharing words of Torah, we know that Torah has given our people strength for thousands of years. So we hope it continues to give us and our loved ones who are in need of healing, that it continues to give strength to them, and that God grant them a refuah shlema. And so we say these words as we join together in the Mishaberach Lechalim. Mishaberach Avotenu Abraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov, ve'imotenu Sarah Rivka Leah v'Rachel, hu yivarech et hacholim. Merciful God, who blessed our ancestors, send your blessings to our loved ones who are stricken with illness or anxiety. To Larry Burke, Grace Geraldine Carafelli, Karen Kasman, Lindsay Cooper, Molly Cotant, Debbie Dingle, Barbara Essrig, Daniel Fell, Sandy Flair, Karen Garassi, Jim Garrett, Kathy Gilman, Gracie Goldman, Joseph Goldring, Lola Goldring, Sandy Gorash, Franklin Grady, Batia Batbeshia Panina, Susan Greenberg, Charles Gross, Susan Gorelnik, Hank Heiser, Helen Indianer, John Ireland, Jane Jacobs, Bruce Kay, Serafina Coffrin, Marta Lazar, Henry Leopold, Charlene Lizelle, Angelo Liverati, Josh Lubick, Libby McIntyre, Mike O'Malley, Zoe Marcus, Beth Margolin, Joyce Meza, Sharon Mizell, Hannah Molesky, Nancy Morrow, Perry Moss, Lori Moss, Scott Miles, Kate Negron, Rabbi Robert Nosenchuk, Razel Bat Leah Miriam, Leah Elisheva Bat Avram Bachana, Tamara Pesikoff, Melanie Pohl, Diane Rabit, James Raftery, Joanne Reed, Raymond Reif, Alan Rosen, Morgan Ross, the Saint Amman family, Michachuna Ben Sima Freda, Amy Selmanoff, Danny Shepard, Barbara Storm, Mark Wagner, Skylie Weingarten, Sarah Batfega, Helene Wolf, all those battling the coronavirus both at home and in the hospital, the 53,117 American troops who have been injured in Iraq and Afghanistan to date, as well as all the names in our hearts. May God grant them a refuah shlema.
Of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
In addition to our prayers for healing, we ask that God's partners in the healing, that God bless them, and all those who work to make sure that our needs for survival are met. Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu, our God and God of our ancestors. Bless all those who put themselves at risk to care for the sick. Bless those who continue to go above and beyond. Everyone who puts the needs of others above their own. And bless those who navigate the unfolding dangers of the world each day, tending to those they have sworn to help. Bless them in their coming home, and bless them in their going out. Ease their fear, sustain them. Source of all breath, healer of all beings, protect them and restore their hope. Strengthen them that they may bring strength. Keep them in health that they may bring health. Help them know again a time when they can breathe without fear. Bless the sacred work of their hands, and may this plague pass from among us speedily and in our days. We continue with our words of adoration on page 91 of our prayer books.
Aleinu eshebeach la'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשה כגויי הארצות, ולא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
The Kaddish may be understood as a praise for the gift of life, love, and thought. It is a reminder of all that came before us. It is a testament to the psalmists and sages, the poets and prophets of our people who made our life and our faith possible. It is a celebration of our past, our present, and our future. Though it never mentions death, it is a reminder of all the friendships that we have cherished and the memories we have shared. Even in the most painful times, the Kaddish is our statement of faith. And so on this Shabbat, we think of those friends and family who have been taken from us in these most recent days. Shiva Shloshim and Shana we mark. Carol Rock, Renee Firestone, Barbara Shear, Sidney Greenberg, Joel Helfman, Judy Yarber, Gerald Gold, Eleanor Park, Fanny Zuckerman, the 7,038 Americans of our armed forces who have been killed in Iraq, Afghanistan, and the surrounding areas to date, and the 588,613 Americans who have lost their lives to the coronavirus. And to their names, we add those whose yard-sites we mark, those of whose anniversary of passing we lovingly commemorate. Edith Abramson, Adolph Beckman, Elaine Betty Bach, Dr. Morris Ely Eisenberg, Robert Feldman, Pearl Friedman, Sarah Friedman, Mary Gersh, Dr. Arthur Goldberg, Jeanette Komarnarski Goldberg, Carrie Goldberger, Zena Gray, Julius Greenberg, Jack Grotman, Robert Gerwin, Eddie Raphael Handelman, Millie Hoseman, Murray Hoseman, Livia Catan, Barbara J. Ledger Smith, Carol Joan Mazius, Ludwig August Overdick, Lorraine Harris Reed, Robert Rubin, George Seid, Saul Seidman, Dr. Oscar Shapiro, Esther Shapiro, Emma Silverman, Rose Silverton, Barry Tildes, Kate Kerner, along with all the names in our hearts, and those who have no one to say Kaddish for them. We join together in the immortal words of the Mourner's Kaddish. It's found on page 96 of our prayer books and on our screens. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach chirutei v'amlich malchutei, v'chayachon v'yomachon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mivarach le'olam omei amaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei d'kedusha v'richu, le'ela min kol birachata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mamav, uya aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, comfort to all the bereaved among us here and everywhere, as together we say, amen.
Oseh shalom b'mamav, Say shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mamav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Shabbos, everyone.
Good Shabbos, Cantor. Good Shabbos, Brian, behind the scenes. Thanks for all your hard work. And good Shabbos to everybody who's joining us online as well. Two quick announcements, if I can remember both of them as we're going through. One is just a reminder that on June 4th, we begin our outdoor summer services, our Kabbalat Shabbat service, as we welcome Shabbat outdoors in the grassy area at Temple. And to be a part of that, we ask that everybody RSVP in advance. And so you can find the RSVP form online, either in the Thursday blast that is sent out at Thursdays at 5 o'clock in that email, or you can call the Temple office sometime during the week when the office is open, and one of the ladies in the office will be happy to help get signed you up for that as well. But our first one is June 4th at 6:30 p.m. And nice to be able to celebrate Shabbat mornings like this together and to begin our Shabbat in this way, or continue our Shabbat in this way. And so we raise our cups of juice or wine as we thank God for the sweetness of this day and the time that we have together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Amen. L'chaim.
Chaim. We say, Adonai oz le'amo yitain. May God bless you with strength. Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. May God bless all of us, here and everywhere, with peace.